Last month, American Black Journal and One Detroit went on the road for a special show on workforce development. Today, we are continuing that conversation with a closer look at the jobs that are in high demand. According to data from the state of Michigan, there will be thousands of openings over the next 7 years in occupations such as food prep, servers and supervisors, STEM careers, those are jobs that focus on science, technology, engineering, and math, and construction workers. My next guests have a vested interest in these career fields. Chef Maxcel Hardy is owner of COOP Detroit. Marlin Williams is founder of Sisters Code. And Aubin Williams is president of Ekklesia Building Corporation. Thanks to all of you for being here. Chef, let's talk about the opportunities that exist in the food business, in restaurants and other food prep and service.
Well, I mean, I think it's so many different avenues you can go in the food and beverage and hospitality industry, you know, from chefs to dishwashers to, you know, servers. And as, you know, Detroit is opening all these new restaurants, hotels, there's a lot of opportunity. I think one of the things that we struggle with, though, is training. And I think that should be something that we really focus on. More so than just saying, hey, we're going to place all these jobs, but how do we train these people to come in and do a good job at, you know, at their skill?
Yeah.
You know, because I just go through it, you know, guys come in all the time and want to be a chef and want to be a dishwasher, want to be a server.
There's a perception, I think, among some people that you just show up at a restaurant and say, well, I want to work, right?
But that's the tough part, you know. It's one thing to have bodies, but one thing to have, you know, trained professionals. And I think that kind of just resonates in all different industries, but it's really home for me in the hospitality industry.
So if you wanted to be a restaurateur or someone who works at a restaurant, a chef, where would you go to get that kind of prep?
Well, that's the thing. You know, we don't have a lot of, you know, training facilities here in the city. You know, you have Schoolcraft, that's, you know, that's training, but that's a longer program. I think some of the answers should be, you know, how do we condense some of these programs to turn them into a 90-day, a 60-day, you know, a half-a-year program that we can get them trained and then get them out in the workforce, but have a skill set and have some kind of certificate or, you know, half a degree behind them. That way, you know, you can kind of come in and lend that good support that I need in the restaurant and in the industry.
Yeah. Sisters Code is one of my favorite organizations around the city. Tell the viewers what you're doing and why it's critical right now, given the kind of jobs that are going to be available.
So Sisters Code, our mission is to empower women ages 25 to 85 to just get out of their own way and at least try the field of technology. So the way we do that is we will hit them with a little HTML and CSS, which is really not coding, but something happens on the screen that's just magical. And so we have them hooked at that point. And then we introduce them to JavaScript, which is a little deeper dive. And for us, success is some people walk away saying, I love this and I really want to do this. And some say, yeah, no. And both are successful, you know, success for us. But in this day and age, I mean, tech jobs are hot. You know, the story of Sisters Code, I started coding 25 years ago at the age of 25. So it was post-college, didn't know what coding was, but it changed the trajectory of my life. And so I am a living witness that having the skills to enter into this field it's a game changer.
How did you get into coding?
Well, before I graduated from Wayne State University. I was an aspiring mortician. Working at a couple funeral homes in the city of Detroit, and someone told me about a program at CompuWare Corporation where you can learn to program in 7 languages in 13 weeks.
Wow.
And I said, well, okay. I have no idea what this is, but they offered benefits and a salary that was more than involving people. So I decided to do it. And I will tell you, Stephen, it just changed everything about everything I do. I wouldn't be here today had I not taken that chance to do it.
Yeah, and it must just warm your heart to see other girls in particular get that same spark out of it.
Yes, you know, we have something called Little Sisters Code now, which I didn't want to do because I said I'm allergic to mission creep. And we were 25-year-old women, but these young girls need this as well. We have women who are 60 years old who are coming in and changing the course of their lives.
Wow.
Because they decided to do something different. So it's possible.
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be in the construction industry. That was what I wanted to do. I might have missed my calling because it turns out now there's all kinds of opportunity there, right?
Tons of opportunity. It is so much building that's going on, not just in the city, but just really around the country, Stephen, but especially in southeastern Michigan. So the whole idea of just getting folks ready to come into that is so important. I mean, what's been happening as of late, we have so many shows about the trades in particular, the plumbing, mechanical, and all those things. But there's such a big need for project management skills, estimating skills as well, because those are what we really call the communication skills to make the things happen that construction companies really need.
Yeah. And where do you go to get that kind of training and opportunity?
You know, obviously there's lots of great schools. I'm not trying to plug any of them, but there's lots of great schools. You can do that. You know, you've got the in-state universities, but you know, you also have some schools kind of off the line, like Bowling Green University. We've got a young man that works for us that's outstanding. He came from us in architecture engineering from Bowling Green. And so those are kind of skills that you get to be able to communicate at a higher level. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, but in the sense of communicating with owners and other project managers of your kind.
Yeah. I wonder if you can talk a little about participation in construction, which is an issue not just at the skilled trades level, but at the level you're talking about, project management and ownership. We still have a real gap.
There's a huge void, Stephen, and what's incumbent upon us, especially African American business people in this industry, is that's why we really have to take the time to develop this young talent, because they're all we have. And you know, the larger firms that you go to, they're not, let's be real about it, they're not necessarily going to come work for you. Right. So you have to develop your own. So it's really a case of beating the bushes, finding these young people and nurturing them.
Yeah. I wonder if you could each quickly talk about one or two things that would make it easier or better in your industry for young people to get in and get work.
I mean, I guess the thing for us is kind of, you know, opening the doors of where do we find this training at? Where do you get funding at for this, right? Because, you know, sometimes if I'm in the industry of construction and I might want to be a chef or want to be in, how do I get over into this industry, and how do I do it while I still got to work? I got kids, I need transportation. So how do we, as a city and as a people, you know, put all that together? How can I get to school? How can I, you know, pay for it? So I think, you know, part of what we need to do is kind of just really bring, you know, that financial piece together, because we just don't know how to pay for some of that sometimes. So a little more access to, you know, funding and so forth.
And I feel like we need people to think of the food industry when they think of workforce development. I'm not sure people make that connection.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think right now, you know, hospitality is probably one of the major industries in the city right now.
Right.
So that should be, you know, up top with building restaurants and STEM, and you know, all that kind of goes hand in hand. You know, so.
Yeah. What about coding and technology?
So I would just say two things. One is we really need to get to the bottom of the digital divide.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
So access is really important. You know, these tech jobs are great, but our children, if we talk about youth, they have to have the ability to access this great internet at home. So that would be one. And then the second one, for any age, but especially adults, we really need to make sure that these boot camps are diverse. They practice inclusion and equality when it comes to getting a job at the end of them.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's really hard if somebody puts the effort in and then can't find work on the other side.
When they were told they would be able to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And much like they just mentioned, Stephen, is that, but I'll say one and two, especially in our industry, has been communication. So what we find is this big push towards all the trade skills, but the liberal arts skills, what I'd like to say, is that being able to, it's one thing to be able to put together a building or be able to lay brick, but can you fill out your invoice? And so we've got to get those skills. So we push that very hard with young people, just at the stage in the elementary courses as well, to get those communication skills up so they are marketable, so we can get to them.
Is the city doing what it should do in each of your areas to make this better?
I mean, in the hospitality industry, I think, you know, they're making some good push, you know, on the training side of things. Just trying to figure out how do we train and get the whole workforce development trained correctly. I think, you know, a lot of culinary schools came into the city, you know, to wanting to do this project, but I think it just need a lot of support from the city, which I think is happening. I think it takes time, but in this industry, is growing. So it needs to be, wrapped up a little.
We have a lot of focus on workforce development in city government right now. Is that
Yes.
working in your areas?
I see it working. I see it working from the standpoint that they have this new Office of Digital Inclusion, which is huge. So to me, that's saying we're paying
With a
attention.
young African American
Yes, Joshua
leading
Edmonds.
that,
Yes, he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
There was a conference last week, and the city backed that. So I would say yes, from a workforce development standpoint, and understanding that the digital divide is partnered with that. I would say yes, we're on the uptick there.
Construction is a much tougher one
It
because
is.
it's a lot of controversy around it. You see so much happening, and folks are wondering where are the folks that look like the people in the city. So I think the city's trying to do some innovative things, but we've got a lot of work to do there. So, and again, incumbent upon companies like myself, when we get these opportunities, we've got to create the opportunity as well.
Hold the door open behind you. Right?
Absolutely correct. That's
All right.
it.
Well, congratulations on all your work, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us. Thank you.